What's good, guys? This is UFC Vegas 98. Last minute predictions where we break off and break down the entire UFC full card predictions last minute. And we start with the early prelims, ending with the main event. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about each and every single one of these fights. So let's get into it. One thing I want to say is 3 fighters missed weight. Argueta, Josh Freeman, Jared Gooden. You guys fucking suck. You guys can't fucking make weight for shit. You guys don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. You guys are professional athletes and you guys still don't know how to fucking make weight. Josh Freeman, you're a fat ass motherfucker and I hate you. So we're going to continue these predictions. I think if you can't make weight, you should only be allowed to miss one time in your entire career. If you miss again, you should be able to get cut from the UFC. How many times do these motherfuckers miss weight? Over and over and over again. We have at least 3 weight misses every month, so it's like something new. I can't watch like a full card without some cancellation or some fight ending because this guy weighed in too heavy. And then when a fighter misses weight, 20% cut is way too little. I think you got to do a 30% cut or a 35% cut because a lot of these fighters are willing to take that weight percentage cut in order to have an advantage in their fight the next day. And I think it's not fair. So with all that being said, Clayton Carpenter versus Lucas Rocha. We're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. Whew. Clayton Carpenter is a minus 225. Lucas Rocha is a plus 188. Over 2.5 is more likely. Honestly, one thing I want to mention is how some of the bookies like FanDuel don't even have them up yet. I think if it's Friday or Thursday, we should already have the entire prelim, all of these props up. So it wasn't up for me, but the over 2.5 is very likely. 125.5 for both men. They both look solid. Clayton is larger by a decent amount. I think Clayton is just a fight favorite, perfect fighter for a guy like Lucas. Lucas can scramble, has great cardio, great striking, but he's small, way small. Honestly, Carpenter is huge. Meanwhile, Rocha can fight at 105 pounds. I think physicality and size discrepancy is favored on Clayton Carpenter's side. The grappling exchanges should be favored on his side. He's going to be the one who gets this dub. I don't have anything on him yet. He's perfect price tag for a 2-legger. I'm picking Carpenter to physically outmuscle Rocha by decision. When we look at them fight, Lucas Rocha is pretty good, has very good shots to the body, has very good connections to the body, has very good over-the-top hands, has very good boxing, fundamentally sound. But a guy like Clayton Carpenter who's bigger, who looks like he can fight at 135 pounds, should be able to physically drag this guy down to the ground and maul him and win a unanimous decision. I have Clayton Carpenter to win this fight by 29-28 unanimous decision because a guy like Lucas Rocha is very tough and he could be a lot tougher than a lot of people expect him to be. So, with that being said, give me Clayton Carpenter to win this fight by unanimous decision, 29-28. And I think Lucas Rocha could surprise all of us. He looks a lot smaller here, but don't be surprised if this goes all full 15 minutes and he fights like a warrior. Because it's guys like this who show up, make weight, who deserve a bigger paycheck. Because the guys who are missing weight, who are waking up, who are waiting till the last days to cut weight, are the guys who don't really care about taking a 20% cut on their paycheck. Because they make enough money in order to not care about that. So I think a guy like Lucas Rocha should have a lot of respect on his hands, and a lot of people shouldn't overlook him because he has a chance to win this fight. Next fight, Darren Argueta versus Cody Haddon. Dan Argueta is a plus 154. Cody Haddon is a minus 184. Dan Argueta missed weight, 138.5. He tried to cut it again, so he went right back into the box and tried to cut, and he still missed weight. That's fine. Honestly, don't even try anymore. If you miss weight, just don't even try anymore. So Dan is coming in. He cut an extra 1.5 pounds after the re-weigh in. He looked huge for the scales. Dan is twice as wide as Cody. Big shoulders. Haddon is taller, but damn, Argueta mogs him. His shoulders and back are ridiculous. I'm not sold on Cody Haddon yet. He's a minus 184, and I don't get it. He has hype from the Contender Series and Urseg. A lot of hype since Urseg. Everyone expects him to light up Argueta. Argueta had a rough run in the UFC. He always fought people that can grapple, and Haddon can grapple, but we've seen him at a high level get taken down by Urseg. Urseg was dragging him, picking him up, and dragging him in the wrestling department, and it was a close fight. Urseg isn't a wrestler. We know that guy's a striker. We've seen weight misses tend to benefit fighters. If you miss by 0.5 pound, it's more damaging. Let's say you miss by 0.5. That's more damaging, and it looks like you're more trying to make weight. But when we look at this, when you miss by 0.5 pound, it's more damaging. But this guy didn't even try to cut weight. This guy might have more energy tomorrow. Dan is desperate right now. He's coming off of a weird run. Back-to-back, no contest and a loss. Could get cut from the UFC. He needs this win. Saved a little bit of gas, took a cut paycheck to have an advantage tomorrow. When people make this play, it's tempting. I like Dan as an underdog, and plus 3.5 is great for Dan Argueta. At long, as long as he doesn't get finished in the third round. Dan can win round 1, and Haddon can most likely win rounds 2 and 3. Dan by decision is plus 275. It isn't bad. Dan by sub plus 650. One thing I want to say is I'm going to be taking Cody Haddon to win this fight. Not only am I going to take Cody Haddon, this is a very low confidence pick. Very low confidence pick. And the reason why it's so low confidence is because a guy like Dan Argueta could have made a calculated weight miss, and he could have a huge advantage tomorrow and have an extraordinary amount of cardio tomorrow, and he might wrestle Cody Haddon. One thing I'm going to say is I'm going to take Cody Haddon, but very low confidence. If you like a dog, don't be afraid to sprinkle Dan Argueta. Just take money line because you never know what could happen. And this is going to be a barn burner. So give me Cody Haddon to win this fight. It's going to be a fun fight, fun scrap. Let's get it. By 29-28 unanimous decision. Right here we have Cory McKenna at a plus 110 versus Juliana Polastri at a minus 130. Both women made 115 pounds. It's funny because these women can make weight, but the guys who are fighting on the main card can't make weight, like Jared Gooden. Like, oh my God, what you doing, my boy? No, I'm just kidding. Cory, not the type of fighter that you expect to be the bigger fighter than Juliana Polastri. These ladies get into each other's faces. They really get into each other's faces, and they're ready to scrap for tomorrow. Both women, 115 pounds. Cory, not the type you need to freak out about in physique. In my mind, I thought Julia was going to be bigger. Cory is bigger, very good face-off. I've seen a bunch of back and forth. It's always a coin flip when it's women's MMA. Minus 130 on Polastri, plus 110. It's funny because Cory moneyline is plus 110. Cory by decision is plus 125. The bookies know if Cory wins, it's going all 15 minutes. They are giving you 15 cents as an underdog for her decision prop. Plus 140 for Polastri by decision. Cory is the favorite to win by decision when she's an underdog. You can't make this up. Just take moneyline Cory if you like the dog. She should be faster. She doesn't have the power advantage, but her wrestling is insane on her side. Polastri is willing to play BJJ. Unless you're Amarim, you're not getting Cory in an armbar. And if you don't sub her, she's going to wrestle you for 15 minutes hard. I know people don't like Cory, but 0-1 for Juliana Polastri off Dana White Contender Series is not impressive. I'll take the experience in Cory McKenna. I might pull the trigger on Cory now that I lost my easy peasy spot on Abdul Razak Al Hassan. We lost that fight, Abdul Razak Al Hassan, and I hate that because a guy like Josh Frem is the reason why we lost that fight, who shouldn't even be in the UFC in the first place. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this fight right here. I'm going to be taking Cory McKenna. I think she should be able to win this fight. A girl like Juliana Polastri is very good. And she's good. You know, the only thing is she might play a little too much BJJ on the back. So I'm taking a dog. I'm taking Cory McKenna. And I find it weird how Juliana Polastri by decision is plus 140, but Cory McKenna by decision is plus 125 when she's the underdog. So it makes absolutely no sense. And the bookies have no idea what they're talking about. So give me Cory McKenna to win this fight by unanimous decision. 29-28, 29-28, and 29-28 in all judges' scorecards. Let's go. It's an official pick flip. Juliana Polastri looks cut, though. She looks really good. But I'll take Cory McKenna to win that fight. Let's go. She's bad. Okay, next fight. We got Junior Tafa versus Sharaf. Plus 265 for Sharaf. Minus 330 for Junior Tafa. Two fat guys, two flabby fucks. Sheen, more flabby than Tafa. Honestly, when we look at this fight, I don't think none of these guys should be in the UFC. 252 for Sheen, 241 for Junior Tafa. Tafa, slight height advantage. Only thing I need to know is if Sheen can shoot a double leg. If Sheen can wrestle for more than 5 minutes, he can win this fight. Junior Tafa's script is already out. The blueprint to beat him is already there. I expect this to be a kickboxing match. I'll never trust Tafa at a minus 330. The dogs are bad play, but most likely an easy relative win for Tafa. One thing I wanted to say was that Cory McKenna and Julia Polastri fight is a very close fight, and any girl can win that fight. But this fight right here looks like it's going to be a clean shutout. It looks like Tafa by KO is one of the best props. It hasn't shown up on my thing. But one thing you want to say is a guy like Sheen, if he can wrestle, if he can shoot a nice double leg, he can put a guy like Tafa and win by unanimous decision. I don't think he could put a guy like Tafa out, but I think a guy like Junior Tafa should be able to win by KO or on points. I think I'm not going to lay at minus 330 on Tafa considering that he lost to Walter Walker and he's not consistent at all, and especially his record, it kind of speaks for itself. Honestly, this is a minus 1-800 gambler type of fight. If you want to take him in a parlay, take Junior Tafa in a parlay. I'm going to be taking Junior Tafa by KO specifically. And to just KO Sheen in the second round. just knock him out brutally in the second round. I think this is going to be a kickboxing match. I think if Sheen is not trying to take him down at all within the first 5 minutes, he's going to lose this fight in a competitive kickboxing match that might go past the first round and then end in the second or third. So give me Tafa by KO. Let's go. Themba Gorimbo versus Niko Price. This is going to be a banger. Both guys made 170.5. Niko Price with that crazy smile, that crazy psycho smile. Both guys made 170.5. Niko Price is always jacked. Weird body, long stretchy arms. He got awkward power that comes from weird situations. Gorimbo, tall, lanky, jacked as fuck. Has a huge height advantage. I didn't expect Themba to be this big. When they size up, Themba is huge. Niko has that crazy psycho smile, that psychopath smile. He just wants to scrap. Themba, by decision, is such a great play in my opinion. I think Niko has to wrestle in order to win this fight. I wouldn't be surprised with any type of stoppage because Niko might not be the most durable. Maybe a positional TKO. Maybe he's standing and he gets TKO'd. Or maybe he gets on the ground and Themba gets some vicious ground and pound. A sub is live too. Niko by KO is there, but is it likely? Themba messed up. If Themba messes up, maybe Niko Price can take an advantage or maybe take advantage over the pressure and then start to pressure a guy like Themba and then get him tired and win a unanimous decision. But I don't think it's likely. Under 2.5 can hit. Someone gets finished. I expect Themba to finish Niko. I have a parlay with Themba Gorimbo and Taira. Honestly, the UFC is putting him in a good spot where he can succeed. I don't think this fight goes the distance. We can say Themba by KO isn't bad, so I sprinkled Themba by KO and I sprinkled Themba by decision. I think Themba should be able to win this fight. Not only do I think he should be able to win this fight, but I think he should be able to win this fight in notable fashion. He shouldn't have a problem with a guy like Niko Price, and he should be able to absolutely run through a guy like Niko Price, unless he's playing this low, timid, lack of output, lack of fundamental striking, and he's struggling in the striking department, and he gets wrestled, and he gets mixed up with Niko Price. I don't think Niko Price should be able to make this competitive, but you know with Niko Price, it's like rolling a dice, and you never know what to expect with a guy like Niko Price. So with all that being said, give me Themba Gorimbo by KO to finish this fight inside the distance, and give me the under 2.5, and just for the hell of it, I'll sprinkle Themba by decision. So give me Themba by KO or decision, and then give me Themba by KO, then give me Themba by decision in separate slips. It's going to be a good fight. Niko Price is always a good man. These guys both put their hands up. We're going to see who really wins tomorrow and who's ready to go on into the welterweight division. I think Themba should be good for the welterweight division. He's a good prospect. JSP, Jonathan Pearce versus Pat Sabatini. This is a good fight. This is a good fight. And the reason why I say this is a good fight because there's a big discrepancy in height. One thing we have to say is minus 184 for Jonathan Pearce. Oh, I didn't even mention the odds. Minus 350 for Gorimbo and plus 280 for Niko Price. But now we're looking at this. Minus 184 for Jonathan Pearce. Pat Sabatini is a plus 154. We look at them face off. Jonathan Pearce has that sunken in jawline, that Giga Chad jawline, 145.5 apiece. JSP mad tall. Even more discrepant in height for JSP against Pat. Pat is a really strong wrestler when you're low to the ground, short and stocky and muscly. Being close in on those hips, that'll help you get takedowns. Pat, being the shorter fighter, isn't bad. JSP should be a better striker. Pat Sabatini isn't durable. We've seen Diego Lopez run absolutely right through him. If GSP can fight long, keep him at distance, get the cardio down on Pat, he can cruise a decision. JSP was a minus 130 earlier this week. Got the CLV trophy. The closing line value trophy, we got that. We got him at a minus 130. JSP minus 185. Now, seems like it fits the price tag, but is it playable? I don't know. Pat isn't that durable. JSP looks for knees and elbows. He should score more than Pat. Striking, wrestling edge, honestly, for JSP, but you can't justify it at a minus 185. For JSP, I'm picking him, but minus 130 felt a whole lot better than playing him at a minus 185 because JSP doesn't hit hard, but he's a volume guy, and ground and pound could be there. Over 2.5, minus 174. And honestly, I think this fight goes the distance, in my opinion. It's going to be a very competitive fight for all 15 minutes, but will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 142. No, at a plus 112. I don't think neither fight is getting stopped. If it is, maybe a submission sneaks in there somewhere. But I think this fight goes the distance. Yes, at a plus one. Yes, at a minus 142. Over 2.5 hits. And I like Pearce by KO or on points, or Pearce by sub or on points. Pearce by KO or on points is minus 145. Pearce by sub or on points is plus 110. Pat Sabatini by sub or points is plus 175. I don't think it's likely, in my opinion. If you got a guy like Pat, just take money line. Don't get fancy with it. Just take the money line. No reason to play this extra ball game with a guy like Pat Sabatini, who has shown to have durability issues. Give me JSP to win this fight by a clean cut, 29-28 unanimous decision after maybe losing the first round. Gonna be competitive, though. This is a pretty good card. It sucks that we have Abdul not fighting no more just because of Josh Frem not being professional and making weight. CJ Vergara versus my lock of the week. Is this a good lock of the week? I don't know. He's making his UFC debut. CJ Vergara plus 265 versus Ramazan Temirov at a minus 330, who currently has gotten high up to as minus 350. Ramazan Temirov has made 125.5. CJ Vergara made 126. And clean for Vergara. Temirov is cut as fuck. CJ is bigger than Temirov. A lot of people laugh for giving CJ a chance. He looks exciting. Not only does he look exciting, he looks like he has power, but we never seen him tested. We never seen a guy like Temirov tested in the UFC against the top division of athletes in the UFC. We're going to see tomorrow night. One thing we're going to see is if this guy belongs in the UFC. CJ is a perfect test. CJ, on the other hand, has been proven to have recovery. Not only has he been proven to have recovery, you know, MMA Joey. I just got a fucking shit-ass notification from MMA Joey. I lost my train of thought. CJ, on the other hand, has been proven to have recovery, toughness, durability. He can hang out with guys at the UFC level, and he's proven to hang out with guys like Asu Almabayev. I don't like minus 350 for Temirov. CJ has a size advantage. If CJ survives, would you be surprised if CJ wrestles hard and wins, and this could be a split decision? Minus 350 is a guy you don't want to bet heavy on. You don't want to bet heavy on a guy like minus 350. On CJ, is always counted out, underappreciated. CJ has cashed as a dog against Clayton, Rodriguez, and Lacerda the fight. You have to watch this fight live because if Temirov slows down, CJ can put the pace and won't let him off the hook. Can't trust these judges. You never know. One thing I want to say is Temirov is my lock of the week. I know it's juice to the grills, but if you want to take Temirov by points, it's a minus 105, and I think it's not that bad. Not only do I think that that's not that bad, but if we want to play Hail Marys and we want to play these weird props, Temirov by KO is plus 300. My best prop is Temirov by KO on points at a minus 280. I think it's more likely. Not only do I think it's more likely, I think it's the best outcome. It's parlayable. You could put Temirov by KO on points at a minus 280, put it with Themba Gorimbo, and put it with Taira. Boom, you have a 3-leg that gives you plus money. Over 2.5, minus 196. We could play that as well. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 154. I think it's most likely to go to the distance. Most of these flyweight fights go the distance unless this guy just completely knocks out a guy like CJ Vergara out clean. It could happen, but I don't think it's possible. A guy like CJ Vergara has known to run around the cage in order to regain himself, and he has very good composure. CJ by points is plus 700. Not a bad sprinkle at all. Not a bad sprinkle at all. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 154. No, at a plus 120. Pick your poison. I'm going to say yes at a minus 154. And I'm going to say Temirov by points at a minus 105. But if you want to play the safe game, let's go Temirov by KO on points at a minus 280. Let's get it. Lock of the week, baby. Let's fucking get it. Let's get it. Let's continue the lock of week streak. Let's go. It's going to be a great scrap. Great scrap. Then, you guys know who these guys are. Alex Morono versus Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez is minus 205. Alex Morono is a plus 172. 170.5 for Alex. 170 for D-Rod. These guys have been around forever. Neither guy has a six-pack. Shocker. Is it a shocker? They both look like washed old guys, both reaching the downside of their career. D-Rod has a significant weight advantage and a reach advantage. I don't see D-Rod giving up the guillotine for Morono. And if you don't like voluntarily take the fight to the ground, Morono can't use his black belt. He doesn't wrestle. He doesn't push the game plan ever. Morono has volume and he has a pace. I don't know if D-Rod is trustworthy, but if it goes full 15, D-Rod should be able to eke out a decision. Minus 1-800 gambler type fight right here. Wouldn't be surprising if Morono wins another boring decision. Morono can win. He's beating guys like Donald Cerrone who are washed. This guy is the king of beating washed guys. One thing I want to say is, will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 160. No, at a plus 126. I'll take yes that this fight goes the distance at a minus 160. D-Rod by KO on points at a minus 180. Not that bad. Turns your minus 200 into a minus 180. Reduce it by 20 points. Morono by sub plus 210. Morono by sub is plus 1,200 by itself, but Morono by sub or points is plus 210, and then D-Rod by points is plus 160. I'm going to take D-Rod by points, specifically 29-28, 30-27, and 29-28 unanimous decision. We know a KO is there, but instead of playing a instead of playing a 2-1 favorite, give me D-Rod by points at a plus 160. And plus, who remembers when there was a girl here that was actually like, she was actually pretty. I don't know what happened to her, but we need her back. We need her back for these Apex fights. Give me D-Rod for the win by unanimous decision, 29-28. Let's get it. Rafa García versus Grant Dawson. Some guy was complaining about the way that I said Pantoja, because I said Pantoja. And he's like, oh, the way you pronounce it is not good. I don't like the way that you pronounce it. So, motherfucker, why the fuck you here? Why the fuck you watch, motherfucker? Minus 405 for Grant Dawson versus Rafa García, plus 320. Dawson made 156. Rafa made 154.5. Dawson looks great. Good face-off. Grant has a height advantage. Rafa García on the short side. I thought Rafa would be shorter, much more shorter than he is here. Rafa was staring this guy down brutally. This was a great face-off. We just enjoy a good face-off. Rafa was staring this guy down. García is just another version of CJ Vergara. He got the cardio, he got the durability, and he has the willingness to get in there. And every once in a while, he pulls off an upset. Grant Dawson at a minus 1405. At a minus 405, he's the back take king. He's the king of rear naked chokes. But he also has a tendency to slow down. He puts too much of a pace early and slows down when he can't keep the pace up. The jab that KO'd him from Bobby Green, we have to take that into consideration. Can this guy crack top 10? We've seen amazing performances from him. And then we've seen letdowns. Ricky Glenn, he was going to life and death with against this man because he wore himself out. In round 3, Glenn was pounding his head into the floor. This is good for a live bet. If you see Dawson taking massive deep breaths, I wouldn't be surprised if Rafa KOs him. Honestly, that would be crazy though. Heavy grappling pace type fight. Dawson should be able to control the fight, but this fight could get sketchy. The more Dawson gasses, not laying minus 425, minus 405 on a guy like Dawson. I like him by sub or decision, sprinkle both. Rafa has never been finished though. He's never been finished before. I think Grant Dawson is a wizard with that rear naked choke. He got 13 wins by submission. He got Jared Gordon out of there, and he got Mark, the Olympian, Madsen out of there. If you can choke both of those guys, you can definitely choke a guy like Rafa García. García is a softball to slowly rise up. Plus 350 for Dawson by sub. Round 3 sub is an 18-1. I don't hate it. Grant by decision, minus 135. Earlier this week, it was a minus 140. At a minus 135, I'll easily take that. Give me Grant by decision, and then give me fight goes the distance, yes, at a minus 220, and then give me Dawson by sub or points at a minus 310. If you want to go Rafa García by KO, it's plus 950. I don't think it's likely, though. Give me Grant by decision at a minus 135. Fight goes the distance, yes, at a minus 220, and then Grant Dawson by sub or points at a minus 310. It's parlayable. Give me Grant Dawson to win this fight, specifically by unanimous decision, 29-28, 30-27, and 29-28. Should be a fun fight, though. A very fun fight. Chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang versus Jared Gooden. This guy didn't make weight, bro. Oh, cut him from the UFC. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. We need the most elite fighters in the UFC. We need guys who have a specific regimen and contribute to their job and they take their job seriously. In my opinion, if you're missing weight multiple times, occasionally throughout your career, you don't take this job seriously. A guy like Dustin Poirier never misses weight. A guy like Max Holloway never misses weight, no matter what they go through. So these excuses where, oh, I missed weight, oh, I didn't even try to make weight, it's just they're too lazy to make weight. Minus 184 for Chidi Nchikwani versus Jared Gooden, who's a plus 148. One thing we can say was this was a little weird, like Chidi Nchikwani's trying to touch him or something. Plus 148 for Jared Gooden, minus 184 for Chidi Nchikwani. Gooden is a third. He's the third fighter to miss weight at 172.5. He didn't look bad, so I don't know why he missed weight. Didn't look sick, looked fine. Chidi has this 170 cut figured out. He's shredded, skinny, ripped, no body fat, no ounces of fat at all. Chidi is so much larger. Jared Gooden is a guy that I thought would be a big 170er considering he fought at 185 before. But Chidi bang bang towered over Jared Gooden. In this spot, Gooden was stretching his neck like a turtle, sticking his head out of his shell. He refused to shake hands with Chidi, but Gooden is a good dude, so weird to not accept his handshake. Little weird about size. Not bad to bet the dog. Gooden, I don't know if this weight miss was calculated from him or he didn't plan to do it, but this weight miss is sketchy. You don't want to bet on a guy like Chidi. He's got rough cardio, rough durability, 35 years old, a lot of wear and tear. Just saved his job with a split decision over Reese McKee. Reese McKee isn't going to be in the UFC for a while, so if you go to split decision with a guy like that, that's sketchy. Gooden has looked great on short notice. He has more of an upside of a finishing ability than people give him credit for. He needs to be aware of stepping knees, stepping elbows, and the big blast body kick. But if he survives round 1, Chidi can win this fight. Jared Gooden can sub Chidi. Jared knows he has to grapple. BJJ brown belt. Wellington Turman is a black belt trained by Glover Teixeira. If you can choke that guy out, you're black belt level in my book. So he's a brown belt, but he choked out Wellington Turman, so he's a black belt in my book. Chidi is a fake black belt. He got so much criticism for his ground game. He went on to get a black belt, and then he never grappled again. He's been subbed 3 times throughout his career already. The new gloves don't allow all that impact or force. The KO rates are so trash. The new gloves, you can't trust these new gloves, and you can't tough yourself out of a choke. When Chidi gets tired, gets worn out, Jared Gooden can get a sub round 2 or 3. So it's not bad to play Jared Gooden by round 2 or 3 sub. Round 2 sub is a 30-1. Round 3 sub is a 45-1. And sub by itself is a 12-1. I recommend just play the sub if you want to play Jared Gooden. Over 2.5 is a plus 138. Under 2.5 a minus 176. I'll take the under 2.5. And Chidi by KO on points is a minus 175. Gooden by sub or points plus 470. Gooden by KO on points is a plus 175. So it's actually favored for him to win by KO on points than it is for him to win by sub or on points, which is kind of insane when you think of that, because where are these guys who are making the bookies? Who's the guy that wakes up every day and has to make the odds? Is he really making the odds, or is he just like not even trying? So, with all that being said, I know Gooden is a very good fighter, has a very good chance to win this fight, but I'm going to go Chidi bang bang to win this fight by KO on points at a minus 175. Not a very confident pick. My Cory McKenna pick and my Chidi bang bang pick are low confidence pick. I don't know why he didn't want to shake his hand. Let's hope he pays for that tomorrow. It's going to be a good fight, good fight. Brad Tavares versus Jung Young Park. Jung Young Park is minus 188. Brad Tavares is plus 152. This is awkward. Jung Young Park is so nice, and Brad Tavares is trying to be somebody he's not. Brad Tavares is plus 152. Jung Young Park minus 188. 185 for Jung. 185 and a half for Jung Young Park. 185 for Brad Tavares. Tavares is bigger at home in his weight class. Very much built the right way, right frame. Always enjoy Brad Tavares. I like his pace. I like his ability to keep the fight standing where he wants it to be. Very technical. Always been durable, but that's questionable now considering he got finished by RoboCop and multiple times throughout his career. I like Park's durability, his boxing. I think this is going to be a split decision. I'm picking Jung Young Park to win this fight. Jung Young Park, I think he has more gas, but Brad Tavares is not a slouch. You can't just run through him unless you got RoboCop power. He is a great test for you in the middleweight division if you want to be a contender. In this weight class, Jung Young Park by decision is plus 140. Instead of laying a minus 198, minus 200, makes more sense to just play Jung Young Park by decision at a plus 140, honestly. And you can't ever rule out Park by decision, but you also can't rule out him by sub. When he gets you tired, when he takes your back, he can sneak in a submission. He's 32 years old, so I wouldn't be shocked if Tavares is a little chinnier than expected. But Jung Young Park is the younger fighter. He's 32 years old. He should be having an advantage with the youth and having an advantage in the grappling department. I see this fight going the distance, but I see this fight getting sloppy, and I see Jung Young Park losing a round. I don't know which round, but he's definitely going to lose a round. Over 2.5, minus 260. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 210. Jung Young Park by points, plus 145. Tavares by points, plus 240. Give me Jung Young Park by points at a plus 145, but if we don't want to play this game, if you don't want to get fancy, just take Jung Young Park and just take his money line and put him with Themba Gorimbo and put him with Taisu Taira. And I think that's a good parlay. 3 legs, 2 legs, no more than 3. That's perfect. So give me Jung Young Park to win this fight. He looks so happy, and it's about time we get Iron Turtle Fight Week, baby. Let's get it. And I like this. I like how they shake hands, man. I like that. At the end of the day, you should be able to shake hands with your partner, especially a guy like Jared Gooden who's not shaking hands with Chidi and Chikwani when you can't even make weight, bro. Like, come on, bro. So let's get it. Main event time. It's already that time. Brandon Royval, Raw Dog Royval versus Taira. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. This is going to be such a good fight. Not only is it going to be such a good fight, Brandon Royval at a plus 240 versus Taira at a minus 310. Royval's a 125. He weighed in. Taira weighed in at 125 and a half. 2-leg Gorimbo and Taira. Nice 2-leg parlay. That's what I have. I'm a big Royval fan. He's a pride fighter. If there was no time limits in MMA, he would beat everybody. He just never stops. He got everything you want. He has a good pace. He has good cardio. He doesn't hit super hard, but he has death by 1,000 paper cuts type of fighter. When his knees and elbows get to work, he can cut you, and he has great BJJ as well. So you don't want to be on the bottom, or you don't want to be in a weird situation where he's landing a bunch of elbows and knees on you when he's on the bottom half. One thing I want to say is Taira is a controlled grappler, hits decently hard. Maybe he has more of a power advantage than Royval. His striking has come a long way. I know he has had a weird run, a fluky win over Pearce. A lot of people hold that against him, but the fact is that this is a changing of the guard matchup. The UFC has brought Taira very slowly, very good matchmaking, giving him years to grow. Brandon Royval is training outside the UFC. He left Factory X. Brandon Royval is a good fighter, but he's a guy who's chaotic. And he's not the most durable fighter we ever seen. We've seen him rocked. We've seen him hurt. We also seen his body fall apart, where his shoulder popped out of place against Morono, and he's got hurt by Matt Schnell on the feet in 2022 before he snatched the guillotine. He can be hurt a lot. He has a lot of injuries. Great scramble, but if he gives up his back, he gives up his back way too much, and he's most likely going to give up his back here. He has given his back up way too much, but he does pass the vibe check. He's given his back up to Pantoja. Shout out to that guy who was like, why you say Pantoja? Just say it regularly. How are you supposed to say Pantoja? Explain to me, bro. How are you supposed to pronounce Pantoja? Explain to me. Shout out to that guy. I'm going to bring him up later. Royval looked at Taira and he looked like you ain't ready, kid. Taira, he looked like you ain't ready, bro. Let's see it. He looked at him and he's like, you're not ready for this, bro. You're not ready for this shit. That's what he looked at him and he said. He said that in his head. He said, you're not ready. He said, you're not ready for me. You're not ready. That's exactly what Royval said. Royval is confident. He's very confident. And this can spell trouble. That's a nice power move that I respect from Royval as an underdog. He just prints money as an underdog. But Taira body leg lock is insane. I wouldn't be surprised if Taira finishes Royval, something Pantoja wasn't able to do, and Taira gets to call out for his title shot. We know that this is a number one contender fight. Not only do we know that this is a number one contender fight, but this fight has real title implications on it. The winner of this fight should get a championship shot at the title after, no matter if it's Royval who wins or it's Taira. Let me show you my props. Let me show you my best props. At the end of all this, I'll give you my best props. Taira by decision or sub, minus 210. I don't know why, bro. He's literally a minus 310. Taira is a minus 310. Brandon Royval is a plus 240. One thing we noticed was Taira was a minus 265 earlier in the week, and he's rose up all the way to a minus 310. We know Japan wants to go back to the UFC. We know UFC wants to go back to Japan. They haven't been there since 2017, and Taira is a guy who can take the UFC back to Japan. We know there's a big fan base over there. We know Taira has a lot of people watching, and he has a lot of people who are rooting for him. So with that being said, Taira by decision or sub, minus 210. Not that bad. Taira by sub or KO, minus 115. If you expect Taira to win this fight by finish, just go Taira by sub or KO at a minus 115. Taira by KO or decision, plus 170. The reason why it's plus 170 is because they favor the submission. Brandon Royval by sub is not that bad. It's not that bad at all. If we go and look right now, what's the main event? I think Brandon Royval by sub is very likely. We've known that he's gotten subs before. Brandon Royval by KO or sub is plus 600. Royval by sub or decision is plus 380. And Royval by KO or decision is plus 270. So the most favored outcome is Royval to win this fight by KO or decision. But I know submission is there and it's more likely. But if you want to sprinkle, go Royval by KO or decision. In my opinion, I like the over 3.5 at a minus 124. Under 3.5 is a minus 102, so pick your poison right there. But if you don't want to pick your poison, over 1.5 minus 450, juice to the grills, throw that out the window. Over 2.5 minus 215. We can talk about that. We can do the over 2.5, but you know me. In my best bets video, I said we're going to do the over 2.5 and we're going to do the over 3.5. So we're going to do the over 2.5 at a minus 215, and we're doing the over 3.5 at a minus 124. And give me Taira to win this fight by decision or submission at a minus 210. We know knockout is there. If you want to take Taira by sub or KO at a minus 115, it's fine. In my opinion, I just took Taira, and I just took his money line, and I just took him with Themba Gorimbo because you never know. I know he's a minus 310, but a guy like this, you don't want to play little fancy props where you're looking for KO or on points, and then he gets a submission. So I think submission is one of the most likely outcomes from both guys. I know the bookies have it favored for Royval to win by KO or decision, and they have Taira favored to win by sub or decision. So in my opinion, the over 3.5 at a minus 128, 124 to be exact. Over 3.5 at a minus 124. Over 2.5 at a minus 215. And give me Taira by decision or submission at a minus 220. 210. It's a minus 210. It's not risky. It's juice to the grills. And it's my best props for this night. In my opinion, I think Taira should be able to get a finish. If it's not a finish by submission, it's a finish by ground and pound. We know a guy like Taira has struggled with Alex Perez. He lost the first round on all 3 judges' scorecards. So you got to be careful when you're playing both of these guys, especially playing a guy who's a 3-1 favorite. In my opinion, you could reduce the odds by playing Taira by sub or KO at a minus 115. But do we really want to, bite our nails? What if he wins a unanimous decision, So in my opinion, the best play is just take him at a minus 310. I know it's crazy, and I know it's like, bro, what? We take the over 2.5, and we take Taira at a minus 310, and we put him with Themba Gorimbo, and we put him with Iron Turtle. We have plus money right there, so let me know what you guys think. My best prop, though, if I have to say it, guys, I'm going to say it one more time just to help you guys out. Taira by decision or sub at a minus 210. I think it's the best prop. If you want to turn a minus 310 into a minus 210, it saves you a lot of money. And it's the best prop in my opinion. The only thing is if he gets the KO. So I don't want to play that game. I don't want to get fancy. But if I have to give you guys the best prop that I know of, I know a lot of people were asking me for more juice props. So the best 2 juice props are Taira by submission or decision at a minus 210 and Taira by sub or KO at a minus 115. But I don't know. In my opinion, my favorite prop is the over 2.5 at a minus 215 and Taira by decision or sub at a minus 210. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what's your best prop. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know if you guys are excited for UFC Vegas 98, because after this we have Michel Pereira versus Alexander Hernandez, Fluffy. So it's going to be a good fight. And then we have UFC 308. So let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it. Lock of the week, baby. Let's get it. Peace. Oh, yeah. You could put my lock of the week. So let's go. We could put Temirov, lock of the week. Taira, Themba Gorimbo, and Iron Turtle. 4-leg parlay right there. Just take money line. Let's get it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.